I'm Karissa Vacker, and welcome back to Sleep Wave, a podcast where we let waves of relaxation wash over you through original sleep meditations created to help you fall asleep tonight. And don't worry if you don't hear the end of an episode. I encourage you to drift off whenever you're ready. You may have heard the popular saying from John Muir, "The mountains are calling and I must go." I spent last week in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, and now I gotta say, I get it. Thanks, John Muir. I have never been fond of heights, and whenever we would drive in the mountains in California, I was always pretty freaked out by the sharp drop-offs on the windy roads. These mountains, while still stunningly beautiful, felt much more gentle than dramatic. We spent hours winding through curving roads with lush green trees and vegetation on either side of us. For most of the trip, a creek was running alongside the roadway with fresh, clear mountain water running over rocks. We rolled the windows down and let the crisp and sweet-smelling air move through the car, and I felt tension rolling off my shoulders with it. There is something about being above the world where I usually reside that always gives me the space to gain a different perspective. When I lived in Los Angeles, we lived very near the Hollywood Hills, and I would often go hiking in Griffith Park, up to the famous observatory. I noticed I was always able to breathe and think more clearly up there, looking down at my neighborhood and city below. I experienced a similar sensation this past week. Spending days amid fields of wildflowers edged with green mountaintops and bright blue skies brought a quiet peace to my heart. We saw bears and wild turkeys, deers and beautiful birds. We waded in a crystal clear mountain stream, and I sat, listening to the water burble over the rocks for a long time. We felt like we were in the clouds themselves as a misty fog sometimes surrounded us, giving the Great Smoky Mountains their name. We rarely had a cell signal, which, while sometimes inconvenient, was mostly great. It simply added to the peace in having to truly unplug. I have been a city dweller for most of my life, and for the most part, I really love that. But I also realized that it's easy to forget how healing and restorative it is to immerse yourself in nature from time to time. Tonight, we're going to answer the call of the mountains, even if you can't go on a getaway to them anytime soon. We'll go on a sweet visualization meditation where we let our imaginations guide us through lush trees, flowering bushes, running streams, and rolling hills. Take a deep breath and snuggle into your bed as we prepare to create inner space and perspective as we meditate together to Get Sleepy in a Peaceful Mountain Cabin by Billy Gill. The rolling slopes of the Appalachian Mountains tell an ancient story of their 480 million year history. When these mountains began to form during the Paleozoic era, they may have had more resemblance to the younger and more rugged terrain of the Rocky Mountains in Colorado. Over the millennia, erosion and weathering caused by wind, water, and glaciers has given the peaks of Appalachia a much softer appearance, and the many millions of years they have existed has given rise to a rich biodiversity. A wide array of wildlife thrive in the many microhabitats that the gentler landscape supports and nourishes. Dense forests, wide meadows, and rushing creeks are a haven for the black bear, the white-tailed deer, and the wild turkey, along with many more creatures who belong to this mystically majestic land. In the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee, one has a sense of awe with the sheer depth of the place. It is older than we can fathom, but it feels like an inheritance to everyone who retreats to her sloping and winding country roads, adorned in lush green and foggy mist. When you find yourself nestled in these mountains, there is an overwhelming sense of belonging and interconnectedness. Worries and tensions dissolve into a feeling of oneness with the natural world. It's as though some deep and ancient part of our brains remembers the intrinsic calm that comes from existing in harmony with nature. Our modern world, though it has given us many comforts and conveniences, is superimposed upon the natural world, giving us a somewhat disconnected relationship to nature. It's helpful to sometimes return to the simplicity of the forest to make contact with the part of ourselves that understands that there is an intrinsic peace to life. We don't see it often because we aren't often immersed in its fullness. The day-to-day business of modern life can give rise to fragmentation. Tonight's sleep meditation puts you back together as we gradually surrender into a peaceful quiet of a cabin in the woods in the mountains of Tennessee. As you settle into a comfortable position in bed, make sure that you allow plenty of time to eliminate distractions so that you can relax into this journey of inspiration and tranquility. Imagine that you are standing in the doorway of a cabin on the sloping side of a mountain, surrounded by trees and earth and the sweet smell of the crisp mountain air. The humidity of late spring has been pierced by the freshness of last night's rain showers. Your senses come alive. Feel the expansiveness in your chest as you breathe deeply. With an inhalation, the abundant life force of this forest flows into your body, invigorating you with vital energy. On the exhale, release any tension or anxiety that you have been holding on to. It's as though you can give these worries to the forest, and in return, the forest reminds you that you are part of this beautiful, serene wilderness, not merely an ornament, but integral to the whole. We need this reminder. Take it in and acknowledge that you are at home in the natural world. Even though many of us live in cities and built environments, these are relatively recent developments, and the cells and sinews of our being recognize the resonance of nature with our own nature. Continue to breathe slowly and steadily and immerse yourself in the present moment. You must live in the present, launch yourself on every wave, find your eternity in each moment. Fools stand on their island of opportunities and look toward another land. There is no other land. There is no other life but this. Thoreau wrote those words in October of 1853. He reinforces the insight that to be fully alive, we should live fully in the present moment. With the mountains all around you, draw inspiration from their ancient wisdom. These rocks have seen millions upon millions of years go by, and yet remain perpetually in the here and now. These mountains are symbols to awaken qualities within us that sometimes fall dormant. Their strength and resilience to weather the storms of life remind us that we also grow from adversity. See yourself at the beginning of a trail now. As you hike up the mountain, you will find yourself leaving the familiar borders of your comfort zone. As you call upon your inner resources, you return to the present moment. This is the only place of power. The present moment is where you are potent and effective in the world. It's where you are able to confront the challenges before you with the steadiness of the mountain itself. Let the mountain inspire you to remain steadfast in the face of any challenge. As you breathe in, fresh energy pours into your lungs. As you breathe out, exhale any unnecessary tension. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Continue breathing gently and at your own pace for some time. Returning from your hike, you see the welcoming porch of your well-constructed cabin. There is a warm and inviting atmosphere as you enter. Find a cozy spot near the window and take in the sights and sounds of the natural beauty that surrounds you. The rushing water of a nearby stream flowing over the stones that line the creek bed. The steady, soothing flow of water. Notice the sounds of the birds, the rustling of the trees in the gentle breeze, squirrels darting from branch to branch. There's no shortage of movement, and yet the overall sense of stillness and quiet is remarkable. This kind of quiet reminds you to go through the affairs of life with an inner calm. You can be as dynamic and busy as the forest, and yet remain as peaceful. Take take another slow, deep breath. There is no resistance to what arises in the here and now. These woods and these mountains remain a silent witness. As you gaze out the window, find contentment in what is here and now. Contentment is the ability to be present with what is. You are not grasping for the next moment or the next island of opportunity. Breathe in the sweet mountain air. Breathe out and release any thought of gain. Now, you notice the dappled sunlight plays on the floor of the forest as light filters through the canopy of trees. The shine and the shade dances as rays of light capture your fascination. Desires come and you feel inspired to act. There's no need to suppress that inspiration, but rather let it motivate you with a sense of passion and acceleration. There's no grasping or craving, only a sense of play and gratitude for the positive vision that spontaneously emerges. The mountains foster that inspiration effortlessly. Creative ideas come to you when your mind is still and calm. There's no need to conjure them. When the flower is in bloom, the bees come unbidden. Abundant wildflowers blossom in the Smokies. White trillium, painted trillium, spring beauty, bloodroot, Virginia bluebell, wild geranium, yellow lady's slipper, Dutchman's breeches, which look like tiny upside-down pants, Jack in the pulpit with its distinctive hooded flower and stalk resembling a preacher in a pulpit. The poetic names of these flowers reflect the poetry that the flowers themselves write upon the fields. The natural beauty of the world reflects the beauty that exists within you. Look deep within yourself. Feel your inner life resonating with the world around you. Let your mind be quiet enough to recognize that you too are a great poem. In the light of the full moon, you draw a bath and light a candle to bathe in the quiet stillness of the evening. The buoyancy of the warm water supports your body weight and releases any tension in the joints and muscles. The soft glow of candlelight and the night sounds of the Tennessee mountains outside your cabin envelop your mind, which falls into a reverie. You lounge in the tub. The fragrancy of lavender and eucalyptus surround you. Thoughts come and go like the will-o'-the-wisp. Watch the thoughts flow. Even as the mind continues to move spontaneously, the stillness of your witnessing presence watches the mind with the steadiness of a mountain. Just as the mountain has witnessed the evolution of species, language, and culture, all while remaining steadfast and sure, there is a place within you that is not swayed by the fluctuations of temporary thoughts. You are content to witness the bloom of the present moment. The warm water cleanses your body and mind and heart and soul. Return to the flow of the breath. The belly rises on the inhales and falls on the exhales. There's no need to rush the breath. Notice the pauses as the inhale turns into an exhale and vice versa. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. As you snuggle up in a warm bed, reflect on the day. You have come to the mountains to find out what secrets they had to tell. You heard them say, surrender into the earth. You are supported. You are held. You are embraced by these ancient hills. The sky opens overhead and stars shine down to draw your attention toward higher things. There is more in this universe than you can know. Open up to the vast expanse above you. Between the earth and the stars there you are, breathing in and breathing out, resting, sleeping, and dreaming. You are cradled by the arms of the night in this peaceful mountain cabin. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Drifting and dozing into a peaceful slumber, you are in the space between waking and dreaming. Stay in this space as you feel your body making contact with the bed. You are very still. The belly rises and falls. Try to remain still. If you have to move, just make sure you are conscious of any movements. Your heels, calves, thighs, hips, spine, shoulders, neck, arms, and head are totally relaxed into the softness of the bed. You are drifting into a peaceful sleep. Stars above you are twinkling in the inky blackness of the night sky. The misty mountains rest peacefully below them night after night. When you awake tomorrow, you will feel refreshed and inspired by the glorious mountain morning. The forest breathes at night in the cool moisture of the Tennessee mountains. The mountains are steeped in ancient mystery and tradition and wisdom. As you fall asleep, you become a part of the symphony of life that plays here every night. Your dreams are rich with the deep symbols that the mountain represents: transcendence, ascension, peace, wholeness, encounters with the divine. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.